Hey everybody, this is Lisa, aka You Brought Me Home from Captain Swan Podcast, aka Captain Hook Podcast from the Captain Hook Podcast. You guys have never seen my face before, but I know you recognize my voice for all the Once Upon a Time podcasts that I've done. I wanted to Captain Swan drama way back in the day, so I'm kind of trying to keep myself out of it, but recently I kind of got pushed into it without wanting to be. I got a message a couple days ago from somebody, I'm not going to name names, but from somebody who wanted me to police somebody on the Captain Swan tag or somebody on Tumblr for posting a post having to do with Hook and Tiana, and they tagged it with Captain Swan. Now, I read this post myself. I'm not going to mention the name of the person who posted it for their own privacy, but Captain Swan was mentioned in that post. So for that person to post it as Captain Swan, there's nothing wrong with that. That's completely within the bylaws of the Tumblr tagging policy, I guess. If Captain Swan had not been mentioned and she just dropped it in there into the Captain Swan tag, then I could see where the issue might be. But this is a much bigger problem than just tagging. Ever since season 7 started, and we got more information on the direction of Captain Hook, and the fact that he's not our Killian, that he's actually the Wish Realm Hook. Everybody has been kind of, well, not everybody, because I don't want to generalize, but a lot of people have been upset with the direction of season 7. A lot of people have drifted away or abandoned the show completely because they don't want to deal with it. And a lot more, the ones that were willing to at least stay on for Colin's sake or for Hook's sake, started dropping off when they realized that Hook wasn't our Hook, but was in fact Wish Realm Hook. Now, I understand. Trust me, I get it. I have been in fandoms for a long time, so I get how hard it is to deal with change. I get how hard it is when you see characters that you've invested yourself in for so many years to, leave a show or to be written out or whatever the case might be. And it is hard. It is hard to move on. It's hard to figure out what to do next because you're so used to having them there. So I understand completely that a lot of Captain Swaners might not want to see that Hook and Tiana content or anything that is not Captain Swan content in the Captain Swan tag. All I would ask, please, is that if you don't want to see that in the tag and someone does tag it, remember that they're not necessarily doing it on purpose, that we are human beings. Sometimes we forget or we don't realize that we put something there that we shouldn't have put there. Keep that in mind first when you go into somebody's ass box to tell them, hey, can you not do this? And try to be polite. Because what you might deem as polite might come off to somebody else as not. My message box was literally flooded with this person's messages detailing how this person, went into her inbox and asked her nicely not to tag in Captain Swan. And I went back and I looked through, and I can tell you that those messages were not nice. I mean, I know that there are ways that people can misconstrue things, but this you really couldn't misconstrue because it was like the same message over and over, and it was the vitriol increased with each message. So I mean. The original poster seemed like a very nice person, who generally did not mean to cause such a controversy, and I'm sure that if she had been asked politely, and she explained herself, and she genuinely did nothing wrong. So then to come out and go, oh, we don't want this in our tag, we don't want, and blah, 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 okay. Citing it as a tag problem is not really the issue here. The issue is fandom bitterness. I have been in this fandom since day one. And I've been a member of the Captain Swan fandom since day one. Y'all know me very well. Most of you do anyway. And I know you all remember what we went through way back in the day with Swan Queen and all the other parts of the fandom who chose to kick us out of the overall fandom to the point where we had to make our own tags, and you know, it was very hard for us to be there because we were known as like the redheaded stepchild until we became something more canon. And even then, we still got a lot of crap for it. So you would think after everything that we had been through, you would not want to visit that same garbage or that same vitriol on somebody else, especially when they did nothing wrong. I can understand you guys might be upset if they had done something wrong, but this person's post generally had Captain Swan mentioned. It might not have had a lot of it in there, but it was mentioned. And she only did it once. It wasn't like she flooded the tag with a bunch of unnecessary non-Captain Swan things. The point is, if you don't want to see the content, it is perfectly fine to ask politely, but lately, as pretty much ever since episode 2, really actually since the beginning of season 7, I have been seeing multiple times a lot of members of fandom, and again, I'm not trying to generalize everybody, I'm just talking about the ones that I've seen, are literally bullying other people into submission, forcing them to police their own tags or making other people to police their tags or how they post, you know, saying, I don't want to see this trash, and I don't want to see season 7 stuff, or especially now that we know about Hook, I don't want to see the Tiana Hook stuff, nobody cares about this stuff, the show's going to tank, the ratings are bad. Okay, look, whatever view you have of the show is perfectly within your right to have that view, just like it's perfectly within the original poster's right to have the Hook and Tiana view. Even if you don't believe anything will ever come of it, it doesn't matter. It's a person's viewpoint. They have that right to free speech to write whatever they want. It is their blog. And honestly, if they tagged it improperly and you come at them in a polite way, I'm sure that they would have no problem fixing it. But if you badger them into submission and you bully them simply because you don't like the content, this really has nothing to do with the tagging. If it was the tagging and they explained themselves and it was just about that, y'all would have gone away. But the fact is, it's not just the tagging, because you just keep doing it, and it seems like it's the same person that just keeps doing it over and over. It's more about you just can't stand season 7 and you don't want to see it, which understood. I mean, some people don't want to, and if you don't, then I guess you just have to block better or turn Tumblr off or turn the TV off. I mean, if you don't want to see season 7, I don't understand why you're still watching it. It's like the same question we used to ask the Swan Queeners. If you don't like Captain Swan, why are you still complaining? Why are you still hate watching if you don't want to see it? I would hate to see you guys become like them, because we always believe ourselves to be better than them. And the reason why I'm coming at this is because this person was dragging my podcast into this issue. And I'm not playing referee for nobody. This podcast and this group of people that decide to be in this podcast, we're here for the fun of it, because we enjoy being in the fandom, because we enjoy talking about Hook, no matter what Hook that might be, because we love Colin and we like to get together and talk about him and have fun. I never intended the podcast to be a hotbed for social justice or for, you know, fandom drama. That's kind of the same rules we ran in the Captain Swan podcast. We tried to keep drama out of it as much as we could, because when drama was there, it just kind of ruined everything. So please don't bring me into y'all's drama. I am really trying very hard to stay out of it, but I just don't think it's fair the way that a lot of people have been treated the last couple of weeks. I know you guys are better than that. The ship has always been classy. We've always been, we've always had good, kind hearts. And I can't stand seeing the way that the ship is starting to schism along season lines just because some people want to walk away at season 6, which is fine. That is your right. It's also your right to post on Tumblr that you hate it. That's your Tumblr, that's your blog. But it's also those other people's, the other ones that want to watch it, that enjoy seeing Hook in whatever fashion that it might be, that is their right to post what they want. If they improperly tag it, let them know politely. Tell them, hey, could you make sure that you check your tags properly and you put this, you tag this Captain Swan or you tag this Captain Hook and we don't want to see that. That's fine. I'm sure that if they made a mistake, they will correct it. But to badger someone into submission, to bully them to the point where they just don't even want to discuss it, and they just start deleting or they take Anon off of their inbox, or they just start deleting posts or don't post anything at all. Do you really want to be driving people off of Tumblr? I mean, that's the kind of thing that we used to get all on top of Swan Queers for, and the other ones that were trying to drive Captain Swan away in the first place. Can we not be that way? I would like to think that we were better. Honestly, if you have an issue with season 7, if you don't like the way that Hook and Tiana are, even if they're not a thing, if that's just him flirting, I don't care. Whatever it is that he might be, it's not your place to tell someone what they can and cannot post. Yes, you can remind them to tag properly, but it is not your place to tell them, well, we don't want to see that shit. They have the free speech to post whatever they want to post. Period. End of statement. And I would really appreciate if the Captain Hook podcast was not pulled into that drama, because that is not what we're here for. Now, I also appreciate that once this video is posted that you guys not blow up my inbox, because that's not fair. I'm trying to be as neutral about this as possible. I'm only trying to highlight what I'm seeing as a more underlying issue that goes beyond just tagging policy. Because you're coming at me asking me to tell someone to take their stuff down or tag their stuff properly, and then you're calling them names saying that they're posting trash. That is uncalled for and is out of line. You wouldn't want someone to treat you like that, so I would please ask that you guys not treat other people like that. And when I say, again, you guys, I do not mean everybody, because I know that not everyone is responsible for this. So, anywho, that's my 2 cents. So I will see you guys online on Friday night for another episode, and I will see you guys on Saturday afternoon, as usual, for the podcast. Bye, guys.